But look, what did it take for us to get to the point of an apology? We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with it.
You let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are complicit. I want to make a quick clarification about the neo at the Turning Point event. They were outside protesters. My point was more metaphorical, that you embraced them at your thing, I felt.
But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it and just...
It became unmanageable. After Charlie Kirk and Joe Rogan band together and ruin her, Whoopi Goldberg loses it. What did they say that made Whoopi lose it more quickly than you could describe an awkward TV moment after being calm for a while? Keep an eye out, because this raging conflict is far more exciting than your favorite drama series, and I can assure you that you won't want to miss a second of it. It resembled a train disaster in slow motion that turned into a circuit.
Welcome back. In Monday's conversation about Turning Point USA, I put the young people at the conference in the same category as the protesters outside. And I don't like it when people make assumptions about me. And it's not any better when I make assumptions about other people, which I did. So, my bad. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So,
Extravagant Joe Rogan and Charlie Kirk, two verbally abusive individuals with very different histories, steamrolled and unexpectedly attacked Whoopi Goldberg when she entered the political muck pool.
Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept the View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they...
First, let's set the scene. Whoopi Goldberg was addressing potentially explosive subjects like politics, race, or another culture war trigger when the fuse struck and an explosion occurred a second later.
Between right and left authoritarianism, and now people don't recognize that if you just stopped looking at it in terms of red and blue, look at the actions, whether it's war, suppression of free speech, pharmacological interventions that are mandatory, right. whatever it is, that used to all be associated with the authoritative right, the authoritarian right, and now those things are being embraced by the left. And I just think it's just an ideology thing, and I think we get confused and we think we're on the right side. We're on the right side, and if it's our side that's saying this, for sure that's the right thing to do. And no one's critically thinking about this.
Joe Rogan is the gateway drug for young men that thought they were Democrats to become MAGA. Joe Rogan is the bridge, and on that bridge they'll see RFK.
When Joe Rogan hears Whoopi explain quantum physics while wearing oven mitts, it seems clumsy. He bluntly and without nuance breaks down her argument, turning it into a verbal sparring match. Conversely, Charlie Kirk arrives quickly, viciously, and mercilessly, and Joe scrutinizes Charlie while making fun of Whoopi's perception of.
They needed to do that, Jesse, is because if they told their audience the truth, that when gas is the most expensive it's been, flights are super expensive, that 5,000 kids decided to spend a weekend in summer traveling across the country to go hear from conservative speakers, maybe the audience of The View would think twice about all of their ideas. That's why they felt so compelled to try to smear our wonderful summit this last week.
Yeah, they have nothing else to tell.
As Whoopi Goldberg transitioned from a media celebrity to a viral joke, memes and hashtags went viral online, making it difficult for even her admirers to defend her online authorities. Joe Rogan's cool, accurate takedown and Charlie Kirk's vicious onslaught exposed every vulnerability, and comedians and critics question how someone with decades of experience could be so quickly discredited. Whoopi made a valiant effort to recover, but with the cameras and tweets rolling, there was no way out, so she remained silent and offered no.
That show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her, and they did that with Meghan McCain, and they did that with what is that other blonde woman from Survivor? Do you remember her, Jamie? She was always yelling. I mean, it's a.
In today's cultural battles, even icons can lose due to a lack of apology or justification, as seen by Rogan and Kirk's vicious takedown. Whoopi's breakdown wasn't a complete catastrophe. Rather, it was subtle, with a sharp edge softened, her tone shifting, and a hint of disapproval. If you walk in unprepared, you're knocked out.
And frankly, that show, you want to talk about a show that set women back, is The View. You want to talk about that show, if the CIA is engineering, Antifa and fucking the Capitol riot, some crazy misogynist engineered The View, because there's nothing worse than The View. In terms of, like, there are so many brilliant women out there. None of them are on The View. None of them have gone near the set of The View. I mean, they have brought in the lowest tier of the, what is it, the Y chromosome?
No, double
The
X.
Okay.
Double X.
They brought in the lowest of the double X.
It slowly seeped in following Rogan's systematic takedown and Kirk's verbal sledgehammer. Rather than crying, she found it difficult to control the leak of trust, which is embarrassing and revealing. Whoopi was clearly caught off guard.
Gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump, uneducated white women.
Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth or whatever they teach. But I said this to our team. I said working people, the muscular class, including working women, they are so in favor of Trump, and they don't want to be called stupid.
Averted reprisal by deftly assigning blame while navigating a convoluted web of facts and rebuttals. After that episode humanized her, she became susceptible in the harsh media landscape of today. Prudence replaced a frequently witty sense of humor.
Job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won, and this is... And Joe Rogan believes in dragons! Do you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it, because it's so
on TV.
crazy.
She said it's on.
Claimed that although fans are divided between pity and popcorn-ready joy at witnessing the powerful being humiliated, detractors rushed in. As a result, Whoopi's credibility may significantly change, making her an even more vulnerable target in today's vicious media battle.
Too much, but we're going to have a lot of fun at the Department of Education. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Can I tell you something? Like, I've had quite a few people contact me about that particular post. Like, I'm sure I have 1/100th of what you're getting, but people are contacting me about cabinet posts. I'm like, I got
look,
nothing.
I mean, I'm actually, after this conversation, heading to Mar-a-Lago for a week, and we have a lot to sift through, and if I could be helpful, I have asked. I want to be actively involved in all things education, as you can imagine.
This disagreement is not only personal, but it also shows how cultural disputes are evolving from civil discussions to violent, armed confrontations. Kirk's divisive tactics and Reagan's cynicism.
This is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies.
Public opinion is now shaped by influential media figures. The time has come for Whoopi to get back together. But for the rest of us, the cultural clashes and viral moments are far from over. Kirk and Rogan were the hardest hit, but neither was unharmed.